position, and it's not like we haven't done it before, that this is a courtroom with a lot of increase being said, but even
But it wasn't a court hearing. It was a confirmation hearing for local businessman Ed Ilao to serve another term on the Port Authority of Guam Board of Directors. Ilao was serving on the board during the terminations of several port employees, including its former general manager, Mary Torres, who requested the Port Oversight Chairman, Senator Tom Atta, read her testimony into the record.
Ed endorsed the ruin of good people's lives. He sits idly by and does nothing to stop the port from being steered in a perilous direction because of political retribution, a faulty investigation, and poorly reasoned legal conclusions.
Torres, in her written testimony, accused Ilao of doing nothing when dealing with the port's legal counsel and their untimely billing practices, suspicious invoices, and poor quality of work.
Ed, along with other board members, has caused great pain and hardship on the Port family. Perhaps it's true that Ed lost confidence in me as a manager, but that pales compared to the loss in confidence I have of him as a professional and as a thoughtful human being.
Former port marketing manager Bernadette Stern-Meno also testified against Ilao's reconfirmation. Meno was terminated along with several other port employees for their alleged role in a scheme to defraud the government and then cover it up. She is currently working for Senator Rory Respicio. Her case, along with several of the terminated employees, is currently before the Civil Service Commission.
Vivian Castro Leon, Jose Guevara, Francine Rocio, Francis Ariola Cepeda, Josette Havalana Havalosa, Leonora Leon Guerrero. These are just some of the names of the individuals whose lives you have destroyed. You attended illegal board meetings to discuss how to bring us down, and you know that the chairman recommended to all of you to bring a gravedigger to those illegal meetings. You broke numerous open government laws, agreed to turn off recordings of some executive session minutes in meetings, all in order to further this political witch hunt.
Like Torres, Meno also raised the issue of the controversial legal services contract with Phillips and Berdalio, alleging it exceeded its $499,000 cap, but Ilao again remained silent. She testified that serving as a public official, whether as an employee, a board member, or an elected leader, comes with a great deal of responsibility.
You must have the courage to do the right thing at all times, the wisdom to know how to do it, and the integrity to stand up and speak out when you know that something is wrong. Sadly, you have not displayed these characteristics during your tenure as a member of the Port Authority of Guam Board of Directors.
Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz, who has been tracking the port's legal services contract issue, he also questioned Ilao's knowledge of how the cap was lifted.
When did you authorize the GM to remove Section 3.7 in the contract?
I don't remember.
You don't remember a discussion talking about the legal contract and the need to be able to amend it?
Testimony, however, wasn't all against Ilao's confirmation. Several people, like GCC President Mary Okada, testified on his behalf, as did Guam Behavioral and Wellness Center Director Ray Vega and former Civil Service Commission Executive Director and current CCU member Eloy Hera.
I wanted to kind of just sound off a little bit that, you know, the issue with the port employees, unfortunately, the way it happened may not be the way that I would.
Mr. Hara,
yes.
please confine your testimony on Mr. Ilao himself,
okay.
not the case at
No.
Civil Service.
Okay, no, but what I was alluding to, Mr. Chair, is that, you know, because it became a public record, it became part of this testimony, I would like to actually comment that that matter is presently under review by the proper authorities, and my comment to that is that it's being duly handled properly accordingly by Civil Service Commission and the law. So and as a board member, what I wanted to reiterate is that, you know, I'm presently a CCU board member. I'm only 1 out of 5. I don't know how many board members the port has. And some of the testimony I hear here tonight was that, Ed Ilao did this, Ed Ilao did that. Well, Ed Ilao by himself cannot do anything as a board member because it takes the majority of the board. And yes, maybe his silence may be, not a good thing, but even within my own board, there are a lot of things that I disagree with my board, and I utter it, but when the final thing comes and the board vote as a board, my voice is only one versus either 5 or 7.
As for the nominee, he was given the opportunity to respond to some of the allegations. For example, whether he repeatedly violated the open government law and turned off recordings during some executive session meetings.
If you are aware of that and it happened, did you consider it improper?
Senator, I deny any wrongdoing in regards to any and all allegations that were brought forward here before this committee by Mrs. Torres and Ms. Mano. We probably decided to take a recess and go to the restroom or have some coffee. I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of times when in our board meetings we take at least 2 hours and then we go into executive session, and sometimes you just need to take a recess. And of course, when you take a recess, you turn off the recording.
Committee Chair Senator Tom Atta, who is also related to one of the fired port workers, in the meantime said he was concerned about testimony submitted by an employee who alleged there was a climate of fear and intimidation and retribution at the port.
Absolutely oblivious to that climate?
I don't know much about it. That's a surprise to me today. That has not been communicated to the board, or to me at least, by anybody.
Ilao, in the meantime, spoke about the progress being made at the port and the myriad of modernization projects currently underway. And despite the allegations that were brought up during the hearing, he asked that people take the time to thank the employees who make the port strong.
Our employees are doing a lot for the port. And they may be tired, so they need some pat on the back once in a while. So please, whenever you see them, pat them in the back, because we really need as much help as we can to move the port forward, to modernize the port and get it prepared for anything and everything that can happen for Guam, for Guam's progress.